Matt Jacobs. Here. Scott Nickel. Here. Sharon Pastilli.
Oh, she's here.
She's here.
She's here. Sorry.
Laura Carson.
Here.
Alice Kelly.
Here.
Meredith Odenak.
Here.
Marcy Spollier.
Here.
Josh Garskoff.
Here.
Julie Gottlieb.
Here.
Joe Siebert.
Here.
Jay Walk.
Here.
Matt Ambrose.
Here.
Hannah Gale.
Here.
Lisa Havey.
Present.
Tamisha Paul Dunmore. Lauren Bove.
Here.
Mark McDermott.
Here.
Jill Vergara.
Here.
Karen Wackerman.
Here.
Hank Ferentz.
Here.
Pamela Iacono.
Here.
Christine Messina.
Here.
Pete Tallman.
Here.
Drew Georgiadis.
Here.
Rick Grauer.
Here.
Chrissy Kelly. Bill Perugini.
Here.
Janine Alianello. Elizabeth Altabelli.
Here.
Frank Batiste. Marissa Ringel.
Tonight we have special guests. We have Boy Scout Troop Den number 2 from PAC 95 in Stratfield. They're guests of Representative Paraman Perugini, and I would like it if they could come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. These guys are working on their government badge, so they'll be watching our meeting for a little bit. Glad they could join us. I'd like to ask everyone for a moment of silence. Mark McDermott's mother passed away recently, and if you can give that some thought. Thank you. First item is to consider and act upon the minutes of the regular meeting held on January 27th, 2020. Do I have a motion? Representative Georgiadis, seconded by Representative Carson. Any comments? Representative Vergara.
Jill Vergara, District 7. I just wanted to make a correction to the minutes in the discussion under item number 11. When Ms. Iacono asked me whether I'd be proposing an amendment, I said I would be offering a revision suggested by the town attorney at the next meeting.
So we have a motion to amend the minutes, and Representative Garskoff seconded. All in favor of the amendment? Say aye. Opposed? Okay, now we'll go to the main motion, unless there's any other comments. All in favor of approval of the minutes? Opposed? Okay, thank you. The next item is to receive a report from the first select woman or her designee regarding the recovery of costs relating to properties with breaches of the peace, public disturbances, and disorderly conduct. We received that report at the committee meeting last week. Next is to hear a report from the, that's okay. Chief Liddy will give us the report for those who missed it last week. That would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Very briefly. Chris Liddy, Fairfield Police Department. Ordinance 61-1 allows for the recovery of costs, law enforcement costs associated with properties that have breach of peace incidents at them. Currently, we have 7 properties that have been identified and are at the warning stage, meaning that 6 landlords that own 7 properties have received a warning, and if a subsequent infraction takes place, we will bill them for law enforcement services. To date, we have not collected any money.
Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is to hear a report from the Affordable Housing Committee, which we heard at committee, but I don't know if I see Mr. Barnhart here. Were you going to? Oh, okay. Any follow-up questions? Okay, thank you. Thank you for your report. Next item, to hear, consider, and act upon the following appointment to the FairTV Commission as recommended by the Board of Selectmen. Alexander Vishno, 61 Hemlock Hill North. The term will be July 2019 to 2022. He's filling a vacancy created by the resignation of Catherine Braun. Is there a motion to approve? Representative Gottlieb, seconded by Representative Durrell. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, the motion passes. We have several items on the consent calendar. Item 6, resolve that the first select woman of the town of Fairfield be and hereby is empowered to execute and deliver in the name and on behalf of the town of Fairfield a contract and any amendments.
Moderator, point of order, if it's on the consent, you don't need to read.
Thank you. Item 6, 7, 8, and 9 are on the consent calendar. Does anyone have an objection or want to call one of those items out for discussion? If not, unless there's any opposition, those motions all carry. So we go to item 9. I'm sorry. Item 10, regarding the 20-year bond resolution. A resolution resolved that the 20-year bond resolution entitled a resolution appropriating $3,214,000 for the costs of certain non-recurring capital projects and authorizing the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation be and hereby is approved. Do I have a motion? Representative Georgiadis, second. Representative, oh my God, Spolier. Only known you for years. Any discussion on this item? Representative Iacono and Vergara.
Jill Vergara, District 7.
Pam Iacono, District 8, and we're both standing up here as the caucus leaders.
We respectfully request that the internal auditor consider reviewing emergency bid protocols and perform audits in the instances that required the use of emergency bid forms, like the trash compactors, and make appropriate recommendations, if any, to ensure that emergency bid waiver requests are being followed as outlined in policy. We also recommend that the review of the purchasing policy be placed on a future Board of Finance agenda, as the current policy is now 9 years old, and the policy itself calls for Board of Finance review every 2 to 3 years.
Thank you. As most of you know, we all discussed several issues at the our regular committee meetings, and I know that this was raised in concern to what amounted to a large expenditure of overtime and questions about some of our protocols and procedures and how it works with the purchasing department. And I want to thank Representative Vergara for working together to find a joint bipartisan resolution as to what we would like the department to do to make sure that we're following all proper protocols, because there were certainly a lot of concerns raised about control gaps and how our policies and procedures worked. And I think that this is a fair and appropriate request. We know we can't direct departments to do things, but we certainly hope that they honor this as a concern from all 40 of us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? So all in favor of approving the 20-year bond resolution? Say aye. Aye. All opposed? Abstentions? Okay, thank you. The resolution passes. The next item, item 11, is on the consent agenda, but I'm actually going to pull it off because we realized that in the committee meeting, this wasn't specifically addressed. I'll read the resolution. Resolved that the Town of Fairfield authorizes the Board of Education of the Town of Fairfield to apply to the Connecticut Commissioner of Administrative Services and to accept or reject a grant for the Osborn Hill Elementary School partial roof replacement project at Osborn Hill Elementary School. And further resolved that the Osborn Hill Elementary School Building Committee is hereby established as the building committee with regard to the elementary school partial roof replacement project at Osborn Hill Elementary School. And further resolved that the Town of Fairfield hereby authorizes at least the preparation of schematic drawings and outline specifications for the Osborn Hill Elementary School partial roof replacement project at Osborn Hill Elementary School. Can I have a motion to approve? Representative Vergara, seconded by Representative Pastilli. Are there any questions? Somebody was going to ask a question. I'm going to take a privilege and ask if Mr. Papa George perhaps could come up and just explain. We didn't have anybody address this at the committee meeting. If you could explain the process for this, that would be great.
So the resolutions that were just read into the minutes are so that we can apply for state reimbursement for the roof at Osborn Hill. Is it on? There we go. So the resolutions that were read into the minutes are so that we can apply for reimbursement for the roof from the state schools grants program. So it's just a formality that we have to read it in. It has to be approved by all bodies in order for us to apply for the grant and the reimbursement. So if there's any questions about it. No.
Representative Monahan.
Correct. It's a percentage.
Any other questions? Mr. Papa George, if you wouldn't mind staying, we're going to have questions for the next item. So all in favor of this? Sorry. I'd like to first go to the public and see if anyone has any comments on this. Okay, back to the body. All in favor of this resolution, approving it? Opposed? Abstention? Okay, thank you. The next item is item 12, to hear, consider, and act upon the following resolution as recommended by the Board of Finance. Resolved that the bond resolution entitled Resolution Appropriating $1,409,046 for the cost of replacing a portion of the roof at Osborn Hill Elementary School and authorizing the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation be and hereby is approved. Is there a motion to approve? Representative Vergara, seconded by Representative Parham. Any discussion? There were some questions on this, so I'm wondering, Mr. Papa George, if you could just explain the process for these bonds. There were questions about the original price, how the price is determined, and
Correct. So the price is determined is we work with local roofing contractors who have won town bids prior to this one to come up with best pricing to figure out the cost of what the roof would cost. I know there was some concern raised through emails about if we approve an amount, then it allows the contractors that are bidding on it to see what we've approved for it. But it kind of keeps them legit as well because you have multiple bidders on it. So even if they know what the amount is, they have to be the lowest bidder to win. So they have to play that game of getting to the point but not overbidding or underbidding their competition, otherwise they don't get the project. Also included in the total cost that we put out to bid or that we put before you is the contractor to design and develop the roof itself, and also the security bonds and the bonding for the, we call it CA, which is Construction Administrative Services. So the engineers to oversee the project as well is all inclusive in that total price. So they don't actually know what we're willing to pay for the roof replacement. They know it's a ballpark, and they have to come within that ballpark without underbidding or overbidding their competition.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from the body? Any comments or questions from the public? Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. Representative Altobelli, can you come up, please, to the microphone?
Thanks so much for coming. Elizabeth Altobelli, District 10. Just really quick, this number that we came up with, how did they come up with it, and why does it have to be public to them? I don't understand that. Or why do the subs have to see this number?
The subs don't actually see the number. We get the number from a few different contractors who have done roofing projects for the district in the past. So we take multiple numbers in, and we come up with, between all of them, what we feel the total cost of the project will be at the end of the day. So we're not saying how much will you do the roof for, and we're using your number and a couple other people to come up with a fair price that we feel. And we would hope that we will come underneath what we're asking for, and then we won't we only bond the amount that's actually used in the project.
Okay, so you're getting an estimate then from local contractors that you've used. You're putting together kind of that sum, and that's where that 1.4 comes up. Okay, are there warranties that are going to be? There are. Okay.
Included in that price is the install, like I said, the design from the architect engineers, the engineer oversight, and warranties on the roof itself.
Thank you.
Representative Ringel.
Hello, Marissa Ringel, District 10. I just want to go on record that I think this estimate is very, very high, 1.4 million for a roof replacement, a partial roof replacement. And I just want to look at FairTV to any bidder that may be bidding on this job, that number is going to get a really tough time getting my vote of approval. Because it is a very high number. We're going to be looking for a lot of warranties, and we want you to come in really low, like 500,000 would be good. I'll vote for you if it's lower than 5. Thank you.
Any other comments from the body? Any comments or questions from the public? Okay, thank you, Mr. Papageorge. Back to the body, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, the motion carries. Thank you. Item 13, to hear, consider, and act upon the following resolution as recommended by the Board of Finance. Resolved that the bond resolution entitled, "A Resolution Appropriating $1,500,000 for the Costs of Installing an Air Conditioning System in the Cafeteria at Fairfield Ward High School and authorizing the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, be and hereby is approved." Motion moved by Representative Garskoff, seconded by Representative, oh my God, what is with it? Siebert. Any comments or discussion on this motion? Representative, what the hell? Durrell.
It was almost her last name at one point. What do you mean? Testing. Oh, good. All right, Alex Durrell, RTM 3. All right, guys, you know, I'm not a politician, but I play one on the Fairfield RTM here. I'm a teacher in Greenwich, and if you think minutes seem like hours here, try lunch duty in a public school, all right? We need it, all right? Ludlow has it. Warde needs it. Warde's probably going to have a lot more students with all the fun 830G housing in our neighborhood. Let's approve it, okay? Use common sense. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the body? Any comments or questions from the public? Back to the body, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, thank you. The motion passes. The next item is to hear a report from the Education and Recreation Committee. Representative McDermott.
Mark McDermott, District 7, Chairman of the Ed and Rec Committee. Thank you, Madam Moderator, for letting us present here tonight. Just a quick couple of things here, because I know everybody wants to get out of here tonight. On the rec side of the docket here, we approved the dredging for $700,000. It was 2/27, 2017. Well, that project has finally been completed at the end of January, so we will have a safe channel for the boating community and for our first responders. And it looks like we're going to be coming in at approximately $10,000 on the budget, so that's good news. As far as the rec department, the spring summer 2020 catalog is out for all of you that have children and or any adult type activities you'd like to join. If you are a Fairfield rec soccer player, you have till Thursday, March 14th to sign up and be on your same team. A couple of other things. The subcommittee for the marina is still working on the best options to propose the funding to propose their presentation for funding to all of the town bodies. This probably will not happen until after the budget cycle or even late May through September. The HSR clubhouse has been torn down, and the process of rebuilding that is happening. The golf course is slated to open on April 4th, and it is on track to be completed by September 11th. And then on to the superintendent's budget, which was approved by the BOE unanimously on 9/0 at a 3.9% increase at 188,758,852. The main drivers there are the 5 drivers were at 4.13%, which are the salaries, staff salaries, benefits, instructional sped, operations and maintenance of buildings and transportation. We did save a little money on several other categories. It will now go to the Board of Selectmen. They'll make their comments or any reductions or additions, and then on to the BOF, and then finally it'll get to us. So there'll be a lot of questions along the way by those other bodies, so if you pay attention to some of those meetings, those questions that you might have may have already been answered along the way. I think everybody hopefully got their tour of the Walter Fitzgerald campus, and we'll be visiting that at some point later on when we talk about potential purchasing and roof replacement. It may be too expensive for some of our representatives here, but we'll see at that time. Chrissy Kelly is going to just talk a little bit about the recent redistricting proposals by Malone and McBroom.
Chrissy Kelly, District 9. In the interest of time, and since this, I am pushed the green light. I see the green light is on. Does that mean it's working? Okay. In the interest of time, and since this really doesn't fall under our purview, there's no actionable items for us. I just think it's important. You'll field some questions about it. All the information from Malone and McBroom is already online. If you haven't looked at it already, I suggest maybe you just glance at it. There's a very nice summary on the back, 4 different possible redistricting scenarios. It's worth noting that nothing has been voted on, nothing is happening. This is step 1 of about 500 from what I understand, so redistricting seems to put everybody in a panic, but I would just suggest you browse it if you haven't already. There's some valuable information in there, but really it's there for a resource, but that's about it.
Thank you for that, Representative Kelly. So, like she said, all this information is on the BOE website as well as the district website, and any other information you want on anything we discussed here tonight you can find on the town website. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much to the committee. That report reminded me that we are, oh, first of all, thank you to the Boy Scouts. Thanks for helping us. Bye-bye. The RTM is in need of a representative to the H. Smith Richardson Golf Building Committee. So anyone who's interested should just let me know. Just somebody who can go to the meetings and keep us posted. The next item is item 15, to consider and act upon the following amendments to the tax relief for the elderly and disabled homeowners ordinance, section 95-8 to section 95-15 of chapter 95, article 3 of the code of the town of Fairfield, sponsored by the Senior and Disabled Tax Relief Committee. Thank you. It moved to waive the reading and seconded by Representative Pastilli. Can I have a motion to approve? Representative Vergara, seconded by Representative Iacono. Any discussion? Representative Vergara.
Jill Vergara, District 7. I just wanted to make a minor change to the ordinance under section 95-15B2B. The clause that reads, subject to taxation, should be removed so that it reads, upon conveyance of the real property. And then it goes on to subsection C.
So
and that's on recommendation of the town attorney, Mr. Baldwin.
That's a motion to amend.
Motion to amend.
Representative Iacono, seconding. All in favor of any discussion on the motion to amend? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, so the motion as amended is before the body. Any discussion on the motion, the resolution? To the public, any comments or questions? Okay, thank you. Back to the body. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The motion passes. Thank you. One other item I just wanted to ask. We had many questions this week for members of the staff of the town. And you know, that we need to ask the questions we need to ask, and that's fine. But I was requested that if it's about the budget, especially the Board of Ed budget, perhaps wait until we don't even have the budget yet, and the folks there are busy with their jobs and other things. So if you could hold off on the questions about the budget until we look at that. And also, as Representative McDermott said, for the new members who may not know, there will be meetings of the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance to discuss the budget, and those are very informative and may answer a lot of your questions. You can watch them on tape or go to the meetings, so just a little request. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Representative Spolier, second by Representative Carson. All in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you.